à tous, bienvenue dans Story Movies. Au sommaire de nos envies de cinéma, une émission haute couture, avec Daniel Day-Lewis dans son dernier rôle.
I haven't met him yet. When do we ever meet ourselves? I don't know.
Margot Robbie qui ne nous laisse pas de glace. Et les coups de griffe d'une panthère noire.
Bonjour, ravie de vous voir. Should we do this in French or in English?
Probably English for your sake.
Rencontrer l'un des plus grands acteurs au monde, c'est merveilleux. Mais rencontrer en prime une véritable révélation, c'est encore mieux. D'un côté donc, Daniel Day-Lewis, 3 Oscars, la réputation de rester dans la peau de son personnage tout au long du tournage d'un film et qui vient d'annoncer vouloir arrêter le cinéma. De l'autre, Vicky Krieps, comédienne luxembourgeoise de 34 ans qui irradie Phantom Thread, le nouveau film de Paul Thomas Anderson. Une œuvre sublime sur la beauté et les affres de la création à travers la relation passionnelle qui unit dans le Londres des années 50 un grand couturier et sa jeune muse.
Beautiful.
L'engagement dans un rôle, la création comme acte de foi, ce qui fait l'essence d'un acteur, à duo intense, rencontre rare et presque mystique.
Whatever you do it carefully.
First of all, thank you for let me believe still in the magic of cinema. In watching that beautiful love letter to creation and to love. How did the two of you really meet? Was it months after shooting? Because I know you first met as characters before you met as actors.
Good morning.
Will you have dinner with me?
There's one time we met before the movie, you know. I think that's important because it's underlaying everything for me. Because how would I have the courage and the trust to go and take this role, you know, and think that maybe I will not make a fool of myself. Even if it was only one reading of the script, it was a very obvious situation.
Which settled very quickly and easily, and then I was eager to get out of there and just carry on working, and then look forward to that moment when we would collide in front of the camera.
And when did you meet your own character for the first time?
I haven't met him yet. When do we ever meet ourselves? I don't know.
No, but is there a moment where you know that it's okay, you know the character, you know what you want to do with him or
Well, it was
her?
a little bit different in this case because Paul and I, having worked together once before, and you know, we went about our business in that way at that time. We thought, well, let's do something different here. Let's start from nothing and see what happens. So Reynolds didn't really exist for probably at least a year, recognizably, while we were working, but something was growing there. I do remember a draft of the script, probably after a year and a half or so, when objectively on the page, I thought, yes, yeah, no. So I guess it was then. But that, you know, it's an odd thing because the moment you recognize someone objectively, you just touch it and then recoil and move away again because that's not where the work lies, you know? Don't put the tray on the table, please. Just take it off. I didn't ask for tea.
No, but
Take it out, please.
yes, I can take it out.
It's a bit late now, isn't it?
I'm taking it out.
Yeah, but it's a bit late now, isn't it?
But I'm taking it out.
The tea is going out. The interruption is staying right here with me.
This is really a movie about the beauty of creation, but it also shows us how selfish and sometimes childish an artist can be. So is that a blessing or a curse?
Well,
To have this-
both probably. It's a will that exists independently of you. You do have that sense that you are just an instrument of some kind through which some spirit might express themselves, and that feels like it can feel like a burden, I suppose, to keep presenting yourself in that way.
And you can never... Each of these moments are moments where I give something of myself. It's like you said a love letter. I think it is. Like, I don't know to what it is, a love letter. A love letter to humanity or life but I keep giving these love letters all the time, never getting really anything back.
But are there moments of pure joy?
Yes.
Of pure magic?
Yeah, pure joy in the work itself, without a doubt. Yes, just pure joy to be doing it. The curse is a very light curse because, after all, it's just the curse. It's the curse of having something that you're interested in. Why, what's so bad about that, in the end? So it's not a curse, it's just a blessing, it turns out, after all. We've solved that one now.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous.
Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America et maintenant Black Panther.
My son, it is your time.
L'univers cinématographique Marvel a un nouveau héros. Le roi du Wakanda, T'Challa, plus connu sous son nom de défenseur des causes justes, la Panthère Noire.
Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
Un personnage atypique, bien connu des lecteurs de comics depuis sa première apparition en juillet 1966 aux côtés des 4 Fantastiques. Et aujourd'hui, un film, l'histoire du souverain d'un pays d'Afrique fictif, prônant l'unification de son pays et la paix entre les peuples, évidemment sans oublier de tabasser quelques méchants. Un héros et un film important, un film d'époque même, la nôtre, selon Andy Serkis, l'un des ennemis de Black Panther.
Couldn't be more important. I mean, it couldn't be more important right now. For all the reasons that we know, without even having to really go into it, because it's it's obvious what's going on. Creating a totally divided country and pretending that it's unifying is a great lie. And this sort of film hopefully is about unifying.
So now we're addressing the sort of immigration, refugee situation that other countries are, and unfortunately we blocked our walls, with Mexico and a number of the particularly Middle Eastern countries that would be able to come into this, so we have to recognize that we're one family, one tribe, and help each other and help those who are in need, and that needs to be our mantra, our purpose.
Donald Trump n'est jamais nommé, mais c'est bien de lui dont il s'agit. Nous sommes en 2018 et le président américain parle de pays de merde au sujet de l'Afrique. Tout est possible, même un film Marvel parlant ouvertement d'immigration et de diplomatie.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
Pour la Panthère Noire elle-même, le film de Ryan Coogler souffle le vent du changement.
The conflict of Africa being misrepresented has always been one that has happened, ever since I've been alive, since my parents have been alive. I feel like that's not a new thing. I don't even have to comment on what any person said about it, any specific person said about it, because it's been said for so long. So I think this was an opportunity to rewrite that in the right way. That's what this experience was.
Black Panther, un super-héros politique? En fait, cela ne date pas d'hier, mais des années 60, quelques mois seulement après sa naissance, sous la plume de Stan Lee et Jack Kirby, comme nous l'apprend Daniel Andreev, grand lecteur autant que spécialiste de ces comics.
Ce qui est intéressant, c'est de savoir que quelques mois après, mais vraiment quelques mois après, est né le mouvement Black Panther. Et Marvel a été très gêné au début de cette récupération politique et des amalgames qui pourraient être faites. Et ils avaient même pensé à un moment le surnommer Black Léopard. Et puis finalement, ils se sont dit non, on va garder quand même Black Panther parce que c'est quand même un nom vachement plus cool. Mais du coup, c'est comme ça qu'est né Black Panther.
Précisons tout de même que non, Black Panther n'est pas né par hasard.
Il faut voir simplement une raison économique, c'est qu'ils se sont dit il y a aussi des gamins noirs qui veulent avoir un super-héros auquel ils puissent s'identifier. Ça, c'est vraiment la première raison d'avoir fait un personnage noir.
Et que non, il n'est pas le tout premier super-héros de couleur.
C'est le tout premier super-héros mainstream noir. Alors, je précise bien mainstream parce qu'il y en a eu avant des personnages noirs. Il y a eu des personnages noirs dans Howling Commando, enfin des personnages surtout des comics de guerre, donc parfois il y avait des personnages noirs. Mais non, il n'y avait pas de super-héros noirs dans le monde mainstream qui consistait entre Marvel et DC principalement à l'époque. Et surtout, tous les personnages noirs avant étaient ultra caricaturaux.
Caricatural, Black Panther ne l'est pas, loin de là. Un blockbuster unique en son genre et un héros qui a su imposer sa patte. Attention, ceci est une bombe d'actrice. Et pas seulement parce qu'elle est belle à tomber. À 27 ans, Margot Robbie est devenue incontournable. Révélée par Martin Scorsese dans Le Loup de Wall Street, où elle tenait tête à Leonardo DiCaprio, charismatique et énervée en Harley Quinn dans Suicide Squad, cette Australienne aux allures de jeune fille sage sait exactement ce qu'elle veut. Elle a ainsi produit Moi, Tonya, où, méconnaissable, elle incarne l'une des sportives les plus détestées d'Amérique, la patineuse Tonya Harding, accusée en 1994 d'avoir commandité l'agression de sa concurrente Nancy Kerrigan.
Come on! What kind of friggin' person bashes in their friend's knee?
Une prestation de haut niveau dans un film aussi drôle que cruel, qui relate le destin d'une femme maltraitée par la vie.
Shame on you, Margot Robbie, for making me laugh so much and have such a great time in front of a story of a woman who was never loved as a child, who suffered domestic abuse, who was hated by a whole country.
I know. I felt that way reading the script. I would be laughing, and then a minute later, being like, "Am I a bad person because I just laughed in this scenario?" I mean, there was a moment in the movie where Alison Janney kicks McKenna Grace, who plays young Tonya, off the chair. And when I first saw that, I laughed out loud. And then I was like, you can't laugh at that. That's horrible. But no, I'm glad you felt all that watching it. You were meant to feel like that. Don't worry. Don't feel bad.
What was the key to find her, to understand her? Did you have a very unhappy childhood?
I had a wonderful childhood, and I'm very grateful that I had the mum that I have. My mum is amazing. And Tonya just had a horrible relationship with her mum, and I think it so hugely affects the person you become, the love you get as a child. And she was starved for love as a child. And she grew up really poor, and she excelled in a sport where you needed money and you needed stature and a certain image, and she refused to be that thing.
Hey, how do I get a fair shot here? Because I'm up at 5 every morning working my ass off. Does someone want to just tell me to my face, you're never going to give me the scores I deserve?
This is how it's done. Some of these girls have paid their dues.
I don't give a shit. I outskated them today.
We also judge on presentation.
Well, you know what? If you can come up with $5,000 for a costume for me, then I won't have to make one. Till then, just stay out of my face.
Maybe you're just not as good as you think. Maybe you should pick another sport.
Suck my dick.
She was always seeking for love and for approval. Isn't the same when you are an actress? Do you become an actress to be loved?
It's funny. It's, yeah, I mean, I definitely can't speak for all actors, but I am a people pleaser. I want to make people happy. I want people to like the things I do. I really care what people think. I care when a movie comes out. If no one likes it, or worse, no one even wants to see it. Like, I care because I spent years of my life working on that film.
And as an actress, do you need to have a spirit of competition, or do you try to avoid that?
No, I really, actually, acting, though I think sometimes people assume there is a level of competition, it's actually a very collaborative job. You work with hundreds of people on a film set. It's one of those very rare jobs where hundreds of people get together and are unified fighting for the same thing. So honestly, I love acting because I am with so many people all the time. I started a production company so that I could have a little more control and a louder voice in those conversations. So I'm a producer on this film, and got to dictate a lot of the decisions and how we made the film. I mean, I think a lot of producers look at a project and say, oh, we can make it. But I don't think that's a reason why you should make a film. I think you should ask, is there a reason why we should make it? Why does the world need to see this story? What are we saying? Are we holding up a mirror to society and making people question the things they do and how they live their lives? Is there a purpose to this at all? And then on a personal level, why do I want to play this character and why should I? Is there an actress out there who could play it better than me? Then I shouldn't do it, you know? And there's been times where I've passed on roles because I've thought, I think there's an actress out there who could do this better than I can, and I'm not ashamed to say that I think they should do it. You know, I think it's a lot about creating your own opportunities as well as knowing the opportunities to take.
Well, thank you very much.
La semaine prochaine, Story Movies part en tournée avec Danny Boone, qui sillonne les routes de France pour présenter son nouveau film, La Ch'tite Famille.
A-E-I-O-U. O-O-E-A-O.
On va y aller, hein.
Allez, salut Biloute!